Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock News. I'm Louis Lee. Dateline, Berlin. About 24 monkeys have broken out of a southwestern German zoo and are roaming the area despite efforts to recapture them. The Barbary macaques, commonly known as Barbary apes, escaped from the zoo in Lofingen, southwest of Stuttgart and not far from the Swiss border. It's not entirely clear how they got away, but construction work at the zoo might have been a factor, police said. The primates were spotted roaming the area in a pack, but zoo employees were unable to recapture them and eventually lost track of them. It's believed the apes may be headed to Switzerland to request asylum before chartering a plane back to their native North Africa and the Atlas Mountains. That's the news. Now let's start the show. Really? Kind of a lackluster rim shot.
Hey, Louis, thank you.
I mean, they're right there by Switzerland, and
yeah.
Take in anybody, you know.
Yeah. Go ahead and bring Dan and John in.
It was a monkey rim shot. You should be happy.
Yeah, it was the monkey rim shot at that. But we actually got a special guest tonight. We've got Danny Kurtz. Let's get Danny up to the...
Special as in spectacular or special as in short bus?
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not short in any way possible. So, I mean, if you want to go that way, you would be 100% wrong.
Yeah. Danny is with, Danny, I'm going to break you in with the 3 famous questions for my guest.
Go ahead.
They are, I ask them all at once. Dan's moving his mic around, so I got to mute him up real quick. All right. They are, who are you, what do you do, and how the heck did you get suckered into this show?
Who am I? I mean, if you don't know me, you should know me. I mean,
yeah,
that's where. But realistically, I'm Danny. My wife Jess and I both have that channel right there, Two Real Geeks, here on YouTube, and we've been at this for probably about 2 years now, a little over, and we're just having fun with it. And how did I get suckered into this? Well, I mean, you got Joe right down there, who's like, "Hey, you want to join the show today?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm always up for live stream, so I'm good. Let's have fun." And especially for HoloCon and everything, yeah, okay, cool. If you don't know us, I mean, come on. I mean, we got the Haunted Mansion behind us, so you're speaking what we know.
And speaking of HoloCon, tonight's show is brought to you by HoloCon, a fantasy and horror convention. For more information, go to www.halocon.com. But yeah, I've watched a bunch of your videos. You do like tours.
I'm sorry.
You do some great tours there. You know, you do the tour of some Six Flags attractions.
Well, here's the cool thing is we're actually on Six Flags media team. So we have we usually get some exclusive footage from them every once in a while. Anything coming out, we get to know it first.
Ah.
So yeah.
Six Flags map by your shoulder, isn't it?
That's actually from Fright Fest, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's a Fright Fest map there. You know, I mean, yeah, you can see. I mean, we've been to Buc-ee's and we do everything. That's actually from the new Buc-ee's here in Georgia, which was pretty spectacular. It was the first one that we've been to. So
Buc-ee's is like the super.
It's
a convenient superstore.
It's like the Disney World of gas stations.
Okay.
It's probably the best. It's overwhelming at first when you walk in there, but yeah, it's basically like you said. It's basically like a Walmart, but with a lot more fun stuff in there.
Okay. And we got some comments already popping in. Oh, that's just somebody. I guess John is our regular. Yeah. John does all our postings and everything, and he's posted up your Facebook page.
Awesome. Actually, if we can link the YouTube, because we do a lot more over there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we just have fun with what we do,
Googled
honestly.
Your name and Facebook came up.
Yeah.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. I didn't even know that was happening.
Okay, but yeah, and then I saw I guess it's your latest video to where you went to Sonoa, Georgia,
Yeah,
where
that
they
was a lot
filmed
of fun.
where they filmed green fried tomatoes.
Yes.
Fried green tomatoes.
Or fried
green tomatoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a behind the scenes little blooper that was happening is I kept calling it fried green potatoes. And Jess and I were just having a ball with it, and yeah, what you see in the video was not what was happening for the first 5 takes of that shot.
And then they also filmed some stupid series there at the same time, right? Or now they're filming some crazy series down there.
Yeah, you can call it that.
Sonoa is the actual pretty much home of The Walking Dead.
It sure is.
And then you were showing us some neat little things that Terminus is only, you could probably hit Terminus with a BB gun from Alexandria, Virginia.
100% can hit the sign for this town with a BB gun from the gates of Terminus, and you could hit Woodbury. So, if you're familiar with the area down there at all, there's that train tracks that go straight down the middle of the city. And if you're on the train tracks and you have the main city to your left, you can literally turn your head and look at Terminus to your right and then look into Woodbury at the same time. So if you saw from that video, we actually showed shots from the TV show compared to where we were and matched them all up. It was kind of wild just to sit there and be like, we're kind of 2 different seasons, and it's all in the same spot.
That's the magic, the movie magic.
Oh yeah.
And there's the link to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Now I think you can actually change that to where you can get the youtube.com.
Actually, if you go to www.youtube.com/2realgeeks, it will pull up.
Okay. All right. Let me throw that up into a banner real quick.
Sure.
All right. So, John, you want to ask anything, or Dan, or?
Well, you're the expert.
So describe your YouTube show.
The live one that we do, or just the channel, and the live one is just basically random. It's us getting to know our fans, and what's the point of having a channel if you can't sit here and interact with the people watching your stuff? We're putting this stuff out. We know people are watching it, and we're grateful for that. So it's the opportunity for them to sit there and interact with us, and us to sit there and actually film something without any rhyme or reason, and have fun with it, and have fun with our fans at the same time, instead of sitting here and me editing for hours and going out trying to drive to a location all the time. We love doing all that, but we also love the people that watch what we do. There's not a lot of YouTubers out there that will recognize their fans and really support them and basically give them a weekly Q&A,
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm trying to get it to pull up, and it keeps giving me a 404.
That's weird.
2 Real Geeks.
Mm-hmm.
RE2.
Number 2, REAL.
Oh,
G.
okay. I was doing movie reel. Okay. All right, there we go. All right.
I mean, we're just 2 of us, and we're real, and we're just geeks. So it's 2 Real Geeks,
Okay.
I mean, we actually started off, we came down here to Georgia about 4 years ago. I started off up in New York with doing the Rebel Legion and the 501st and stuff for the Star Wars costume group. So it's like, you can't get any more geekier than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One of the first videos we did was us putting the Sandcrawler together for the St. Patrick's Day Parade here in Atlanta.
Okay. I
What
remember.
was the hardest part of you adjusting from New York to Atlanta?
They're still adjusting, honestly.
What gives you the most problems, though?
It's just honestly, Atlanta is a machine. It's a machine that needs to be run a certain way, and we're not used to that. If things in Atlanta don't change, once you do something, it's not going to be different when you go back to it. We noticed. Pandemic aside and all that, it's just everything is still the same as day one. It's like the aquarium doesn't change. Six Flags, it really doesn't change. It's the festivals don't change. So, and that's kind of hard for us to really adjust to. Easy part to adjust is it's cheaper down here and it's quieter and it's open more.
Yeah, I can see that.
And what about? I've got to ask. Since you're from, are you from New York State or New York City? Because those are two different worlds.
New York State is part of New York City, but I mean, I was one of the few I was born in the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx,
Okay.
New York. So I was one of the few that didn't think of, I don't know if you're familiar with New York at all, but there's people who saw the city of White Plains as being upstate New York, which was only, if you drove, was only 30 minutes up north from the Bronx. And we're like, no, not really. I'm like, you upstate,
Well,
really?
anything north of Manhattan is upstate.
That's a lot of people were that way too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the same way in Louisiana. I grew up in New Orleans, which is a huge metro area, very, very urbanized. And then once you get out of New Orleans, that's
Trees and swamp.
Yeah.
square. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people think New Orleans is swamps. No. New Orleans is the urban center. The swamps are
Right.
just the other side of the river,
Right.
and just the other side of the lake. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But what I want to ask you is because, I mean, I'm from Chattanooga, which is mid-sized city is what they say. A small mid-sized city. What do you think of the traffic in Atlanta?
It's a lot better than what I grew up with. I'll tell you that. People are like, "Oh, the traffic's bad." I mean, yeah, there are days that it gets bad, but traffic moves. That's the thing is, it moves. You're not sitting at a dead stop for 2 hours just to go 2 blocks.
Yeah, Atlanta, you're doing 90 miles an hour bumper to bumper.
Right. If it goes to 65, there's traffic.
Yeah.
New York, if you hire a taxi and it's moving, you're hiring it. If you hire a taxi and it's sitting there, you're renting it. So.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, but so what got you into videoing the adventures that you do?
Well, Jess and I are the only ones down here. We have no family down here, and everybody's
Okay.
like, and all of our family's up north. So it's like they're like, "Oh, what'd you do? What you do? What you do?" We're like, you know what? We're just gonna film it and put it up on YouTube, and then you can see what we do. And we didn't think we were going to blow up to this big. And every day, every week, we're just going and going and going. And at this point, I'm just blown away. Jess is blown away by it, to the point now where we're looking to relocate again to Orlando just so we have more content. With what our channel does. I mean, we keep everything family friendly. We try to do the roadside attractions and theme parks. Well, we're like, where can we go for this? Well, Orlando. I mean, we just bought season passes to Universal for this reason. It's things like that. But it started off just so family can watch what we're doing.
And it's took off.
It took off. It took off like a bat out of hell, and it hasn't stopped, and we're just enjoying every moment of it. And honestly, that's what YouTube needs to be. If you're out here creating anything, you need to have fun. If you're not having fun, you shouldn't be doing it. Once it feels like a job, then it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, I found, a bunch of crazy things on YouTube. Like the one that blows my mind is the people that buy lottery tickets.
There's a big community for that. A huge community.
It blows my mind. There are creators out there with
Doing scratch offs.
Patreon accounts paying for their scratch off lottery tickets.
Yep. Yep.
With tens
Oh,
of
dear.
thousands of viewers.
Uh-huh.
And Danny froze up.
Did I? Oh,
Dan-
he did.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
we hear you now. You just, when you did this, you froze up on us.
I was not frozen on I'm not frozen now, right? I'm good.
No, you're good
Okay.
to
You're
go.
good. You're
Okay.
good.
Okay. I don't know what happened.
But yeah,
Oh.
I do
It's
not.
bandwidth. Don't worry about it.
I do not understand where that comes from.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because we're over here. I'm able to do the YouTube memberships now, and like we're like, all right, well, do we set up a Patreon account? Like we just don't want to do that to our viewers, where to have them feel obligated to spend it could give us money. But then I'm looking at, I'm like, people are spending all this money on other channels. It's like, should I really do this now?
I'm a big rocket nerd. If
Yeah.
you probably follow a lot.
Mhm.
I'm on Facebook ban right now for live streaming for
Okay.
sharing a NASA video.
Oh, geez.
Live streaming a NASA video which is in public domain.
Right.
What I'm in jail for. I was watching today a group called NASA Spaceflight.
Okay.
They get the super chats. You know
Yep.
what those are?
Oh, I do.
In their first hour, I was just making notes. They made $8,000 in an hour on super chats.
They can come to me. I have super chat capability too. They can come to me and give me super chats. I mean, I don't understand how these people. There's Disney channels out there, like people who sit here, do nothing but live stream and talk about Disney World,
Yeah.
and they make money too.
I don't understand it.
It's just what people are into, and then if you're really into it, they're going to start dropping money into it.
But YouTube also gets almost 25%.
Yes, they do.
But
Yes, they do.
When you're making $8,000 an hour,
It doesn't hurt you.
I'll give them 30%.
Mm-hmm.
And John's posted up something here. I'm going to pull John up to full screen. So if you want to hit a roadside attraction right there in Sweetwater, Tennessee.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all been there yet? Or
It's on our list.
okay.
Okay,
And-
I'll tell you the one thing you got to see
Yeah.
when you go there. There was a pit in one of the caves.
Okay.
And they'll tell you a story about it. They turned it into a dance hall during Prohibition
Yes.
and had a moonshine still in it.
Mhm.
But at the bottom of this pit, they went through all the garbage that had collected in the bottom of this pit.
Right.
They found one of the largest saber-toothed tiger skulls
Wow.
ever discovered on the planet. Okay. Which means that at one time we had saber-toothed tigers roaming Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of scary to think about.
And
that was actually my first date with my second wife. Friends of ours took us to the Lost Sea. Yep. Don't ever tell them that you're there with a date.
Oh no.
They'll turn the lights out on you.
No, they will steer the boat under the places where they know there's a constant drip of water, and you will get soaked. And they will swear that it's a good luck charm to make sure that you get lucky that night.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, well, all that really happens is, you might get lucky, but you're definitely going to get wet. And you're in a cave.
Now, have you ever done any videos up here in Chattanooga?
No, not yet.
I'm going to tell you, just plan on a week up here.
Really?
Lewis's wife actually works for one of
My wife works for the Tennessee Aquarium. We got the Tennessee Aquarium, and they've got two aquariums, a freshwater rivers of the world, and saltwater. The saltwater aquarium has penguins and all kinds of cool stuff. The freshwater aquarium has like 100-pound catfish. It's crazy. The thing's a monster. Then there's also the Creative Discovery Museum. There's the IMAX 3D Theater. There's Rock City. There's Lookout Mountain. Ruby Falls. Ruby Falls is really cool.
I see everybody has told us about these places. We just haven't been there
best time
yet.
to go to Ruby Falls, though, is in the dead of summer. You got to go there in August because it's 58 degrees all year round in the cave. So if you're going to go somewhere in the dead of summer in Chattanooga, it may as well be a cool place.
Okay.
Chickamauga National Battlefield.
Oh, yeah. Well, I live like 5 minutes from there, so.
Yeah. And also, when you go to like the aquarium, the Creative Discovery Museum, and the IMAX Theater, if it takes you more than 5 minutes to get from the aquarium to the Discovery Center, you stop to talk to somebody. They're just all right there.
Okay. I gotcha. That's awesome. Like, we definitely got to get up that way. I mean, people, I want to get up there. I know, like, Lake Winnie's up that way and stuff. So we wanted to hit up
I'm 2 minutes from Lake Winnie.
You're in Lewis's backyard at Lake.
Like we definitely want to get to like Lake Winnie and stuff. I mean, we're not expecting anything major of it, but it's one of those like classic theme park vibes to it. It looks like so.
Lake Winnipesaukee
Cannonball roller coaster
has been family owned for 90 years now.
Close to it, yeah.
It was before the Great Depression. Okay, and it's a nice family-oriented theme park. It's not overly big. It's got a good selection of fun rides. Nothing super spectacular, but it's definitely worth a day's trip.
And the boat flume, the log flume, is actually called the boat chute.
Okay.
It is on the National Register of Historic Places. It was the first. It was the first log flume.
I think that's debatable. But I think the first log flume was actually in Texas at one of the Six Flags parks down there.
But, that's they've got the plaque of the National Historic. It was, it opened in the 30s. It was almost, it starts out like a tunnel of love, turns into a log flume.
That's great.
Yep, of course. It was the first ride at Lake Winnipesaukee designed by the park founder, Carol O. Dixon. According to the National Amusement Park Historical Association, it is the oldest mill chute attraction still in operation in the United States.
Okay, that's what it is. And
and that's from Wikipedia, just to give them kudos.
Yeah.
And the haunted house ride that they've got was considered a dark ride.
Yes.
And it's one of the lost dark rides.
Is it really?
It was originally built as a 2-story dark ride.
Okay.
But due to fire marshal rules and everything, they had to install a sprinkler system. They cut the top floor out.
Oh, wow.
And don't use it anymore.
Wow.
Where's
But
the
it's still
fun in
there.
There's some guy, he lives out in Missouri, who's the big aficionado of dark rides, and we actually were the ones that showed him. Me and the Stringers actually showed it to him, or alerted him to that.
Okay.
And he got to tracking. He's been trying to buy it from them too.
Yeah. Good luck on that.
Yeah.
It's really funny about the haunted house attraction there. That used to be the municipal swimming pool for the area.
Yeah.
Really? That's
so the haunted attraction is actually built in the middle of the swimming pool. There's a moat around it that used to be the swimming pool.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And make sure you buy some popcorn and feed the cart.
Yeah. I mean, there's carp that you can actually
Wow.
stick your. You can take a piece of popcorn and hold it out over the water, and it will
Yeah.
pop up and take it out of your
Well,
finger.
they'll fight over it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, we're talking heads on this sucker is this big.
Right.
I mean, they're small catfish.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for Lake Winnebago. They do not have the haunted house listed.
Well, maybe somebody's check cleared.
See, and I'm a sucker for dark rides too. So you're talking right up my alley right now.
Yeah,
Technically, the boat flume is sort of a dark ride.
Yeah.
You're in Atlanta. Has somebody already suggested Fernbank Science Center to you?
No, but we have been looking at that. We're looking at like one of the Fernbank at nighttime ones. So,
well,
I've heard
it's a nice thing, and actually the most fun part about it is the planetarium part.
Okay.
But their museum exhibits are nice to look at, and you can actually reach out and touch some of the stuff, and it's nice.
That's cool.
Over in Huntsville, Alabama, you've got the Rocket Park.
Space and Rocket Center. Yeah.
Really?
Okay, yeah, that's fun for a day trip there.
Okay.
And the Apollo 15 capsule.
It's over there.
It's there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, when I was there in college, they had an entire Saturn V laying on its side, so you could just walk past the different sections.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
See how big that bugger is.
Yeah, it's now.
Is that like right where the space camp is too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the Space Camp. Neat story about Space Camp is Space Camp last year was in risk of closing. And, word got out and somebody set up a GoFundMe, and in 24 hours they raised $10 million.
Yeah, we were at this.
I could do that.
Yeah, right. We were at a convention 2 years ago, and it was a travel convention, and Space Camp was there, and we were talking to them, and they were like, yeah, we're not getting kids to show up for camp during the summer, and we're like, we just don't know what to do. I'm like, so we were looking to try to get out that way and do a video and see what we can do.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if Space Camp wants to really take off, don't limit it to people 16 years old. Open it up to 35 to 60.
Yeah.
Hey,
you are so right.
Me out. Open it up to anybody who was alive before Star Trek came on.
Open it up to anybody willing to sign a waiver. That's it.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, you'd have a waiting list.
You will have a waiting list.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad there's nothing out in my direction that is interesting. I'm about 90 miles east of you right this minute.
Okay.
And our biggest attraction here, if you're not into football, is a tree that owns itself.
I heard of this. Yes. And there's actually a couple of those in the country.
Well, I don't know if this one was the first or not. And really, the city of Athens, Georgia, does not care. It's just we don't have anything else except the Bulldogs to lay claim to be famous.
Well, that's like when we went to New York. When we do go back to New York, we usually drive, and we usually take 20 straight out. And I'll tell you, there's nothing out that way. I mean, the more major thing that you probably see heading out that way is the Laurel and Hardy Museum sign, and that's about it, Well,
I'm about 17 minutes away from the football stadium in Athens.
Okay.
And my nearest neighbors are cows and sheep.
I know. I've been out that way. I've had a job out that way, and I'm just like, I don't belong out here. I'm a city boy. I don't belong out here.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh, you don't want to know.
What?
What is it, John? I mean, I know we don't want to know, but you've already made a big deal out of it.
I just Googled Lake Winnepesauk's website.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking up the haunted house there. You know, they have changed it. They apparently somebody got. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Apparently somebody got a Nickelodeon bug up their butt.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I think you're. They have changed it to the Wacky Factory.
Oh, no. This is a case of, my child was too scared in there. You need to change it.
I believe you are absolutely correct on that one.
I'm trying to take my hat off in respect, but I ain't got a hat. So
No, you don't need to take it off. That's just a shame, an absolute shame that you would change a haunted house that you say is such a classic icon in that area and change it to that.
yeah. I mean, I mean, it is a rare piece of Americana history.
Right.
That'd be about like changing the Super Bowl to a laser tag tournament.
Hey.
Well, I mean, I'm not a sports guy, so that sounds interesting to me.
Well, I'm not a sports guy either. But, you know,
I mean, here, this is where
there are traditional things that you leave alone, even if you're not interested.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you what I grew up with in New York. This is what actually the theme parks that I grew up on. And it was called Rye Playland. And this was one of our dark rides right here, the old mill. And if you can see that little dude there, that was actually one of the guys inside of the ride, and with some trolls and everything. And you were just on a boat and it went around these kind of things. And our zombie castle and the flying witch. I mean, you could see with this one just how old this park was around and these rides were there for, you know. And it's just a shame, an absolute shame, to see these things disappearing through America right now.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, there's a lot of classic stuff that.
I found a video of the original haunted house.
Did you?
I am posting it to Stupid O'Clock because I don't want to get Joe kicked off of YouTube. But it is now on Stupid O'Clock.
Okay.
That's a YouTube video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh well, yeah. We can't get kicked off of YouTube for posting YouTube videos. So
Trust no one.
Yeah.
yeah, really.
You can't get kicked off, but they can give you a copyright for it.
Yeah.
Or what they could do is just, if they see it, they can end the stream. They're like, yeah, no, this isn't your stuff. It depends if that video is monetized or not. And odds are something like that, it might have not been. But you never know.
I'm trusting our luck and saying don't go for it.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, it's just...
You still got, what, 10 days, Joe?
Yeah, 10 days.
Wow.
April 18th, I'm doing a live stream and I'm going to say some stuff. And I'll see y'all in 30 days.
Yeah, you'll get a 30-day Facebook ban for your opinion. Yeah.
I say we all sue Facebook for losing our data. Jack.
Was Brent Spiner missing?
Oh, you haven't heard? Facebook announced they had a major data breach.
540 million customers lost data, including telephone numbers and addresses. including
I
Mark
checked and mine was
Zuckerberg.
not in there.
Huh?
I checked and mine was not in there.
I never put my phone number into Facebook. I'm not that.
You've been on Facebook that long. Now you have to give your phone number.
Yeah. Now you can't do without it.
Oh, and they also want a drop of blood and some, a DNA sample.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the Nike tennis shoes.
No.
Oh,
Hey, it's Facebook.
Oh, you got to use your own blood to order those?
No. They have a drop of human blood in the tennis shoes.
Hey,
We'll debate that. We'll debate that word "human" later.
I was a big fan of Kiss when I was a kid. And do you remember when Marvel Comics put out the Kiss graphic novels?
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
And there was a big deal. Kiss went in, and each one of the Kiss members put a vial of their blood into the red ink for the comic books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
but
And they wondered why moms hated them. No, they didn't wonder. They were glad of it.
Knights in the service of Satan. You're not listening to that garbage.
Hey, my mom bought me a bunch
where
of
that
them.
voice was
And
coming
Gene
from.
Simmons rode that horse all the way to the bank.
The bank,
Oh.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's still
Hey.
riding it. Did you see where he's selling his mansion?
Oh,
Is he selling it now?
$25
The TV
million
series called
mansion. Okay. It's got a 2-story bathroom. They did not show that in the story. Okay, Entertainment Tonight, you're dropping the ball. You cannot say that a star's mansion has a 2-story bathroom and not show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That
So-
shower's gotta hurt. That water gotta fall a long
I just
way.
hope the toilet's not on the second story and the shower's underneath.
Oh,
Wow.
only stupid
That could be
o'clock would
dicey.
go there.
Yeah.
Only stupid o'clock would go there.
Well, yeah. We've been everywhere else.
It was easy. It was just a left turn.
It's been around the world. It's just coming back full circle. That's all.
Oh,
Also, Danny, there are some conventions kicking back up in Atlanta.
Yes, there are.
I'm hearing there is Anime Weekend Atlanta, AWA. The only problem is they're on the same weekend as us.
Are they?
Yes.
Ooh. There's also Southern Fried Gaming Convention down in Atlanta. That's a huge. If you're a gaming fanatic, that's a huge convention that you really need to get to.
I've heard of it. Here's the crazy thing, and this is where you're gonna shake your head. I'm not big into the comic books.
Okay.
I'm not a big reader.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an author. I'm not into gaming. I'm not very much into cosplay. Not into the.
He'll only wear the panties.
I'm not into the movies.
The granny or regular?
Bikini.
Grannies.
Okay.
I got to keep the boys tucked in.
Okay.
Oh.
Whatever your preference is, it's okay. We won't hate you.
I own a convention.
Mm-hmm. So,
And poor
and that's
Lou-
fine because
and
there's,
poor-
if you
and I
look at it,
poor Lewis's
there's-
mind.
yeah.
He opened the door and I just slapped it in his face.
So at conventions, you're going to find these people that are diehard into whatever the convention is. Like, we'll use HoloCon, because I'm sure you've seen it, where you get the people that are diehard into every single aspect of horror and can tell you any little thing from a horror comic, from a TV show, from anything out there, you know?
But he's
Could
not
tell
here
you
right
that. Right, exactly. Or you got the ones that are like, yeah, I'm into horror, but I have nothing else to do. Let me go check out. Let me maybe learn something new about horror. You know. Then you have the ones that are, oh, it's a con. I'm just gonna go. And then you got the ones that the kids drag the parents to, and their parents are like, "What did you take me to? You're never coming back here."
Yeah.
Oh, and then every convention has at least one.
Mm-hmm.
There's one guy sitting in the lobby reading a book the entire time.
Yep.
Doesn't do anything except
Nope.
sit in the lobby and read a book.
And when you pass him, he looks up at you like,
He's the house detective. Have you figured that out already?
No, I know them.
yeah.
Or at least I know the ones from Anachrocon and LibertyCon.
Then
And
he
they're
must be
usually
working
the same
undercover.
guy. Not working for the hotel, but otherwise he'd been hired by a hotel in Atlanta, several hotels in Atlanta, and several hotels in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
He's a freelancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, this one guy gets around.
Yeah.
Not in the fun way.
But Danny and Dan just called it. Yeah, there's always that one. Sadly, that one for me was Bob.
Oh, now he was always in the game room. He wasn't sitting in the lobby reading.
Yeah.
He lived for being in the game room.
Hmm.
Oh, oh, and another thing, Danny, you're gonna like is I'm gonna have like a movie room, and I'm
Okay.
gonna show some of the worst, horrible public domain horror movies.
Yes. I love it.
You mean there are some left after last year?
There's always some more you could find.
Oh,
There's always.
we showed it. I didn't do anything except arrange some music for the opening ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
Joe showed some of the. Oh, they were just absolutely wonderful. They were so awful.
So, at the haunted house that Jess and I used to manage up in New York, when you're waiting on the queue line to get into the haunt, we used to show the worst B-rated horror movie trailers possible.
And well, that's where I actually got to start, was in doing haunted attractions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Q Line was one of my favorite places to work.
Isn't it the best? I mean,
Because every now and then you got somebody coming up going, something's gonna break. Hold the crew, hold the line. All right, not a problem. They would come up and they'd whisper in my ear, and I'd go, okay. First thing I'd do is I'd flip on my flashlight and start looking around the edge of the walls and down on the corners, and sort of through the people's feet and around, and just wandering around looking, ignoring the crowd, but looking like I'm looking for something. And they go, what's going on? I said, nothing, don't worry about it. I keep looking. And, that just...
It just throws your head like, what is going on? Like,
what are you looking for? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
And then finally...
Get on the radio and go, did the guy show up with the anti-venom yet?
Yeah. No. And the one goes... And somebody finally gets me. I said, okay, the pet boa got loose from the snake room. We're just looking for it. Just make sure you don't step on it.
oh my gosh.
Oh Lord.
Then they finally, because I had so many people terrified to even go in, they put me into the rules room.
Okay.
And in the rules room of one, they had this chandelier hanging over the crowd.
Okay.
And I'd bring them in, and I'd be looking up the chandelier. Okay, stop. And then I'd, be given the rules, and all of a sudden I'd stop and point up the chandelier and go, duck, duck, duck. And people would freak out and start covering their head and all that. And they go, what? I said, somebody put a rubber duck on the chandelier. Look. Not only would it be just any rubber duck, it's the rubber duck that has the Wayfair sunglasses on. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, we fell for it.
I mean, I was not a nice person in the haunted house. I would not let people go. I literally made so many people pee their pants, and you just saw a puddle on them on the floor. Like, the haunted house I worked at and Jess worked at was at that theme park that I just showed you. It was at Ride Playland. we had our whole pavilion. It was an outdoor thing that we put the walls up every year, and it was all concrete floor at this point. So it's outside. It's the middle of October, right off the Long Island Sound. So you can imagine how cold we were. So I'm like, you know what? I just need to keep moving. So here I am. I'm 6'5", okay? And you see how I'm built, and I would walk around with this blue mechanic jumpsuit, all bloodied up.
Yeah.
And looking like a zombie with bolts hanging out my head and everything. And yeah, it was not pretty. Like, we actually had to call an ambulance because this lady, I swear to God, she was going to die inside the haunted house, because that's how much me and another dude just got her. And she didn't even make it past the rules.
Oh,
Danny?
Yeah.
You're 6'5"?
Yes.
Scratch Rock City off your list.
Really?
Well, not Rock City, but definitely Ruby Falls.
Okay.
Ruby Falls, it's only about 6'2".
Okay.
All right, I'm 6 foot, and in some places, my head,
Gotcha.
I have to duck.
Gotcha.
So you'd be ducking the whole way.
I'll just crawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got back of the cereal box here watching. That's a great YouTube channel you need to check out. They're super geeky too.
Awesome. I will definitely check them out.
Box. That's John Pica, who is a great guy. But one of the things that I used to do is, I would do tour guides, and we ran the small ones. We had.
So did you run it, or were you part on the acting staff of it?
I was construction staff. I did everything but spend the money.
Okay. Sounds like what we were.
Yeah. But one of the things, we had this one room, the autopsy room, and the guy had this great stuff. Is absolutely the best stuff for building haunt props, especially great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this scale with some great stuff in it, sprayed up and airbrushed to look like guts. Well, the guy started, I would always rumble around while he was doing his thing, just something a little distracting, so his gotcha can be a little better. And he started putting these little Snicker squares in it.
Okay.
And I'd grab the Snicker square and go, "Oh, cool, you squeezed something out for me." Throw it in my mouth, chew it, and start walking off. I go, chicken.
And they're like, "Oh!"
Yeah. But my line would be, "Ooh, chicken. And a peanut." Ugh.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. But that's like our autopsy room was, I had to say, was one of the top of the line. Like, we found a hospital in New York City that actually shut down. And the guy I worked for went to the estate sale and bought the morgue doors and the autopsy table right out of the hospital. He bought basically everything around that he could use for that. It was crazy. Like, when he brought it in, you could still smell the morgue smell on the stuff.
Smell the formaldehyde.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, that's some of the crazy stuff that we did. Of course, now here's the thing. I never wore costumes or makeup.
Okay.
I usually had a tool belt on, because not only was I guiding everything, I was the guy that had to fix that broke.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl Witzman. How are you doing,
Carl?
How are you?
And
I was the one that was in charge of the actors. I was in charge of their pee breaks, which, as soon as you get into the haunted house, it's a 3-hour night. Everybody has to pee every 5 minutes. So I had to know every person's role in the haunt. I was what you would call, what we called us, floaters. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had a radio, and emergencies broke out in the haunted house. I was basically an actor, taking care of the actors, but at the same time I was security inside the haunted house, because I was the only guy walking around in there. I'm not going to have the other two girls who are floating, going after drunk people inside of New York. It's like, all right. So I had to take care of that stuff. I had to train our zombies to actually be a zombie, things like that. So
Well,
it was a lot of fun.
yeah, the best one, and it was my last haunt, and it was the highlight of my career.
Yeah.
Is we had this guy who was born without legs.
Okay.
We cut him in half.
That's great. Use what you got.
We cut him in half, but we built this table to where somebody would lay underneath him, and their legs would stick up and wiggle and kick and all that.
Yep.
And I'd roll him out on the floor.
Yep.
And he'd be laying there, and then he'd be laying on the floor, and the guy have a leg twitch or whatever on the other side. And I said, "Ooh, I love it when they twitch after I cut them off."
Yep.
Oh, but
We had one year where it made people throw up in the room and everything, where we had a girl on a table and she gave birth to an alien. That's all I'm saying.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He's going home.
He's a citizen now.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it was not a pleasant sight. We loved it, but it was great. It was great.
One of my claims to fame was that I actually got drafted into working with the crew on a couple of charity haunted houses in one of the local malls.
Okay.
I think it was for March of Dimes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they built a little cubicle right in the middle of the place.
Okay.
Just for me. And I'd be set up in there with a couple of synthesizers and a reel-to-reel tape recorder and a small mixing board and stuff. And I was doing the ambient sound. I had made up a 6-hour tape of bats flying out of a cave and witch cackling and all this other stuff. And when they would lead people through, they had this... they had an upright piano that they'd put cardboard tubes on to make it look like a pipe organ in the dark.
Yeah. Right.
So when a group would get to that point, I would turn off the background tape, and I'd sit there on the synthesizer and do my best Phantom of the Opera routine.
That's great.
Oh, it was so much fun, and well, I'm not that good a keyboard player, but when you're only using the black keys, everything sounds good.
You're better than me. I have no musical talent like that. So.
Well,
yeah, Dan is a musical genius.
I mean, I could push play. I'm good at that. Push play.
I'm a workman. That's all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say genius.
So out here, this is how much Jess and I were into the work we did at the haunted house. I'm going to share this photo with you guys here. That's our actual wedding photo. We actually got married at the haunted house.
That's lovely. That is absolutely lovely.
Yeah. So that happened there.
Oh, and Joe, that Opera Ghost thing from the new album, that's actually from the haunted house. That was part of the background tape.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We're gonna have to get you a link to his Bandcamp, Danny, because Dan has a 9-minute song called "Watching the Paint Dry" that I think is just absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
It's just one of those little meditation pieces. I was painting something in the other end of the house, and I had to wait to put on the second coat. So I come back here in the office, put my headphones on, and I throw down this 9-minute piece, and everybody thinks it's wonderful, and I go, "It's Tinker Toys," the line from Young Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure do know that. That is hilarious. That's like when people look at me like, "Oh yeah, you got it. The video was great. This and that." I'm like, it was all right. I can do better.
Yeah, that's the thing with an artist. You know where you made your mistake, or you stumbled over a word, or
Yeah.
you tripped walking through a room and everybody thinks it's part of the act.
Yeah, it's not really.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, we've just rocked out an hour, Danny. Gonna roll back into our this scene here
That's fine.
where let's get you sort of.
Also need to do your rising tide.
Oh yes, we do. But y'all keep
Without
talking for right now.
without
While
Scott to read it, it's going to take a minute,
yeah, because
maybe a minute and a half.
somebody forgot to download it, and then
What did he actually sit down and do a recording of it?
I slaved over Photoshop on that.
I know, and
And it's a beautiful piece of work.
I'm a
Louis, you
slacker.
should be proud.
I actually made it a little more readable. I had the letters kerned a little too tightly first, so I've spread the letters out a little bit, let them breathe a little bit, you know.
Some breathing
Let him
room.
scream for help.
Well, you know, the way they were before, it looked like my ex-wife in a girdle, so you know, it was kind of tight.
Mm. Oh, and John's reshooting a scene from the incredible Invisible Beer.
A green label.
Hmm.
But strangely enough, you get to see Kiss drop their blood vials into the vat of ink.
Is that what it is? It's a Kiss blood beer, right?
Nah.
See?
It's just
Hey, that
it's just
hey,
beer with
hey,
a green screen
I
label.
smell money on that one. I smell
Yeah,
money
Down
on
real
that.
quick.
Gene Simmons would be the one getting all the money. Oh,
All right. This is for Dan and John. Here, have another. Oh,
looks like closing time to me.
Hey, I used to work security at conventions.
Closing time. That looks like the party just got started.
oh.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm
when the
afraid I don't
elevator
have my beer
stops and
goggles on
30
just
people
yet.
get out, that
And Carl Whitsman says we have just too many shows for an easy schedule. Yeah, but
And we
Louis-
blame Brian.
yeah. But here we go.
Ooh.
Stupid O'Clock and Armchair Rocket Science are proud members of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Sundays, we've got Comics, Chaos, and Sass with Heather Ellen at 10 p.m. Of course, Mondays at 10 a.m. is Brian K. Morris with his Nevermind the Furthermore. And Tuesday is TED Talks at 10 a.m. on YouTube, and with that. Also at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook is Brian K. Morris with the clever title pending. And then Wednesday is 10 a.m. is another Nevermind the Furthermore. Great interactive conversations on Facebook and YouTube. Thursdays at 10 or 11 a.m. It sort of rocks back and forth, but that's a good time. On YouTube is more TED Talks where he talks watches and cigars and all that. And then at 7 p.m. is Creative or Comic Book Spectrum at 7 p.m. At 8 p.m. is Creative as Hell on Facebook and YouTube. Then again, there's us at 9 p.m. on YouTube. Fridays, another 10 a.m. Nevermind the Furthermore. And at 6 p.m. is Drinking with the Davies on YouTube. Michaela J's Tidbits and Scribbles at 7 p.m. on YouTube. And of course, Nick Talkard's Historic Fencing Guild, which is a great way to safely kill somebody with imitation.
And sometimes his set attacks him.
And sometimes his set actually attacks him, which is even better. Saturday is at 11 p.m. is the late night stupid o'clock, where things get really crazy, unpredictable, and
Stupid. Yeah.
and plumb stupid. Of course, the wild card of the thing is Armchair Rocket Science. We go live whenever a launch is scheduled by NASA, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and all that. And I'm not
Rocket launch stuff. Yeah.
rocket launch stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Really.
I can't believe you said NASA.
Well,
Joe, do you want me to read that for you as a recording?
you may have to, Dan.
I mean, I could. I mean, Skunk is so good at the Micro Machines rapid voice, but
Yeah.
you know,
Hey, Joe, that
Yeah.
may be a way to keep from getting the Facebook hit for using NASA stuff. It's just pronounce it NASA. They won't know who the hell you're talking about.
or you could really go old school and call it NACA,
Yeah.
NACA. That was back in the day.
Okay. Hey, Lewis.
Hey, John.
Hey, I got an idea for your vacation. It's kind of a quest.
Okay, what?
While you're down in New Orleans, see what you can find out about Six Flags.
The one in Louisiana.
I'll tell
The
you,
one in
there's
New Orleans?
nothing. They're supposedly selling it,
closed
which
since
didn't go
Katrina.
through.
It's been closed since Katrina.
It's been closed since Katrina, but they keep talking about reopening it as something else.
Yeah, they never will.
And
The city just won't let it go. Apparently, it's under government land right now.
Well,
mayor's office
It's located in
owns-
New Orleans East. It's located in New Orleans East. New Orleans East, since Katrina, has gotten to be no man's land.
Mhm.
It's bad. You think the Ninth Ward was bad? New Orleans East was underwater longer. More houses were damaged. Nobody came back. The only ones that are there now are the criminals. It's bad.
So it's basically Laos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I actually, when Katrina happened, I actually was deployed down there. I was an EMT up in New York, and it was not a pretty sight. I'll tell you that.
No.
It just no. We were sleeping in tents, and
we were deployed to Iraq when that happened.
yeah,
And they were talking about taking all of our guys from New Orleans and letting them go back.
yeah.
Or, be with their families or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those, like, you came back to your tent after searching for people, and they were like, you got a decon tent sitting there waiting for you just to strip down, just to throw your, we were in fatigues. Like, I'm a New York State EMT in fatigues, like Army fatigues. Yeah, it's just what, and then you came back, the fatigues went into a big pile of fire, and that was it. You moved along.
Mm.
It was that bad. When they said bodies were floating everywhere, yeah. Not a sight that I want to see again.
Well, nobody does. Hurricanes are a terrible instrument of nature.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Especially
that
with a town that's below sea level.
Yeah.
That was the doomsday scenario. It was a Category 5 hurricane taking landfall just east of the city.
Yep.
You got Lake Pontchartrain there, which is 35 miles east-west, 25 miles north-south, and 16 feet deep. 16 feet.
Yeah,
Okay? That is a geologic pond. Okay?
That's a really
And
big
you've got
pond.
120 mile an hour winds, 130 mile an hour winds coming across the north of Lake Pontchartrain, and it just easily pushed all that water into the city.
Yep. And there was enough water there to push into the city.
That's an awful lot of water, too.
I
Yeah.
remember
It may be 16 feet
Hurricane
deep.
Betsy.
It's a lot of square feet wide.
I remember Hurricane Betsy in 1963, and I remember Hurricane Camille in 1969, and they thought those were about the worst we could get. And everybody knew that if a Cat 5 ever hit the Mississippi Gulf Coast, New Orleans would be almost destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Cue Led Zeppelin when the levee breaks.
Yeah.
And by God, that John Bonham drum part.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I mean, I had it twice then, and then I was up in New York during Sandy at the same time.
Mm.
You know, I mean, I'd never seen New York
Well, that
City
was
shut
probably
down
even
like
worse
that.
because those people were not even prepared for that.
We didn't know
nobody
what
was
to do.
prepared for that.
When you got water flooding the subway system in Manhattan, and it's just pushing out. I mean, it's shooting out of subways, entrances. You can't do a thing.
Yeah,
It's a real life Godzilla movie.
It really was. That's really what it felt like.
Now, you're down in Atlanta. Just wait. You missed the worst natural disasters of all natural disasters. Is snow in Atlanta.
Ice getting
Atlanta during 3 snowflakes. Yep.
Oh, the first weekend we moved down here, it snowed 3 snowflakes and everything shut down.
Hey, Danny, have they told you what to do with French toast yet?
No.
Okay, just check. Hey, this is Biloxi, and that was a house.
Used to be Biloxi.
No, that's still Biloxi, but this was somebody's house.
Yeah.
And
just sand pit
right
now.
here. That was a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And you just walk there, and it's kind of funny if you drive through down here. I wish I could find it right now, but there's a place where you drive down through here, and all you see is a toilet sticking up on the foundation.
It's usually the most solid part of a trailer.
But when a trailer, it was just. I mean, that was.
House.
I mean, like this was a house.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see it, but there were houses all through here.
Yeah, you can see where the foundations and stuff were.
I'm not even going to go there. That's a green room joke. I'm sorry.
Hey, who's that?
Yeah, you can definitely see.
But there were. I mean, you would look down through here and you would see tile floors.
Yeah.
Where the house used to be.
Yep.
Now, when you said you moved down to just moved to Atlanta, was that the one where they shut the freeways down and everybody was stranded for 8 hours?
That was like the year or two before we moved down here.
Okay, yeah, that was quite interesting.
Well, the problem is that we don't have the proper equipment to deal with the changing weathers. I guess I don't know what it is. It's just the freak incidents that happen down here in the South. The cities would be ridiculous to spend that amount of money just to be ready for that.
You can't afford to have the equipment there sitting for 10 years in between blizzards.
Exactly. And then that salt and stuff, all like with every rainstorm and everything, will just start washing away as it is. So what do? Keep a stockpile of salt and sand just for your roads every year that you're not going to use? Ice is crazy. Is more deadlier than snow is. I mean, snow is easier to go through. It's just the ice under the snow that gets you.
Yeah.
I was at the Atlanta Comic Con in 1978 during that blizzard. We had one day of the convention, and the next morning when we got up, Atlanta was covered by a foot of ice, basically.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what it felt like. Might have only been a couple of inches, but every bit of plumbing was frozen. We went out to a Waffle House, which was open.
They're never going to close.
That the city was inhabitable because there's a Waffle House open.
Yeah.
And it was, the only thing they had working was the lights in the griddle. Nothing else, basically. They couldn't wash dishes. They couldn't flush a toilet.
They do anyway.
Depends on the time of day, okay?
All right, I'll give you that.
Well, back during the height of the Miley Cyrus, My Sharona, Peter pandemic, FEMA was actually using the Waffle House scale.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could tell how bad the world was when the Waffle House is shut down because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
We had one a couple of years ago in a town about 20 miles away from here. Due to the geography of the area, we got torrential rains, and I think it was left over from a hurricane that had come up from the Gulf through Alabama, Mississippi, and Alabama, and just wreaked havoc all through there. It got up here and just dumped buckets of water all over everything. There was a Waffle House sitting there, and it was like 3 feet deep in water.
Mm.
And then something gave way that had been backing up more water.
Oh,
It was
jeez.
It was washing cars out of the parking lot.
Oh,
And
no.
this is Northeast Georgia, and they're going, wait a minute, we wanted our Sunday breakfast.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute, guys.
Yeah.
I heard stories.
Dan,
from,
you must get. I mean, I haven't experienced a southern hurricane
Oh
yet,
no,
but
no. I live a very exciting life. I hear all this stuff about things that happen to other people.
yeah.
I'm in a very safe place. Tornado.
Well, I was gonna say is I'm sure that where you are, you probably get more of the tornado effects than me being here in Atlanta, though, because we're more inland.
Well, we there are places in and near Athens that do get a lot of tornado damage, but due to an accident of geography, my house is sitting on top of a hill, and storms kind of split on either side and go around.
So you get lucky.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's like I'm Captain Picard going shields. Damage report.
Wow.
And I hear from everybody around me that got wiped out, and I'm just going, well, I couldn't mow the yard because it was raining, but I did get to read a book. What gets us is ice storms.
Okay.
Where everything builds up on the power lines, trees fall down. You might be without power for a week. I've got like 20 oil lamps and stacks of candles, and I've got a propane camp stove and all kinds of
No, I mean, knock on wood. Thank goodness, in the 4 years I've been down here, we have not lost power once. Which I'm very shocked at.
Atlanta did get a tornado or two through there
recently.
What was it? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Or no? Probably about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I'm old. Everything gets to be yesterday in my mind.
It's all right.
But no, there was a lot of damage. A lot of people were without power for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, because we can't afford to keep all this equipment to deal with winter weather on hand all the time for decades, we don't need it.
Okay,
when it actually happens,
it's bad.
That's why the southern joke about 3 snowflakes and every store within 50 miles is suddenly cleaned out of milk, bread, eggs, and beer.
Yeah.
So I'm going, wait a minute, I have coffee with my French toast. What you talking about? I drink beer the rest of the time.
Yep. It's true though. It's like everyone's like, oh, your whole city's shutting down. I'm like, yeah, but you got to realize it's ice. like what? They don't treat the roads? Like, no, they can't. What are they gonna do? Treat how many roads down here we have? No, you can't treat them. Even if you brine them, it's not going to do anything.
We've got more roads in Georgia than they have in Europe, I swear.
Oh,
and none of them are worth a damn.
And I think they all connect to like one road essentially. Like I think they're like
And
either
half of them are
75 or
named Peachtree
85.
something.
Thank you
Yeah.
for taking my joke, Lewis. Half
Sorry.
of them are named Peachtree Street.
That's true.
That makes navigating in Atlanta a real pain in the butt.
Mhm.
You know, almost everything is on Peachtree Street, but they don't tell you if it's west, north, east, south, little, or whatever variation it is.
Or if it's in Cobb County, Decatur, Fulton, or you know, they don't tell you that much. It's like, oh yeah, it's on Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Okay, was that in Cobb County or is that in actually Fulton?
Hey, it's over on Peachtree.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that narrows it down a lot, John.
Okay. Sure.
There was a movie theater that I used to go watch Rocky Horror that was off of Peachtree.
It's still there.
Hmm?
It's
They're
still there.
showing Rocky Horror.
They are? Okay, good.
Yep. They are.
It was
Think I'm
near
kidding?
the Alhambra Apartments.
Yep. A fun fact is Jess and I actually used to do Rocky Horror up in New York.
Hey, we used to leave work in Athens, Georgia, on a Friday night
Mm-hmm.
at 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Get 90 miles away to Atlanta at 12.
Yep.
Which lets you know how safely we were driving
Oh yeah.
for a bunch of drunk teenagers. Find a parking space somewhere near that theater and get there in time for the show.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
And then drive back afterwards under the influence of all kinds of
Let's not discuss that.
recreational things.
Yeah, let's not discuss that. We know what Rocky Horror leads to.
All right,
it was the 70s. We were so young. It was so dark.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm going to jump out.
Everything all right?
Let's just say side effects of round 2 of my rabies shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got that in a couple of weeks. I can't go to my grandson's birthday party because of our round 2.
Yeah. So, at least I'm not having it as bad as my wife.
I'm in the same boat.
It-
Lindsay's having lots of side effects from the first one, and
Yeah.
I'm having a real mild time, except for Sunday night. It was bad, and then Monday at work, I really should have called in. I was a total space cadet. I could not think, and you know me, when I can't think, I'm handicapped.
Well, coffee the second time don't taste as good.
Oh,
Can't
I
imagine.
am doomed then because I live off of coffee.
Well, right now I'm fighting actions contrary to swallowing.
Go take care of yourself, Joe.
Yeah, John, go ahead and shut her down at regular. Yeah,
Regular time.
regular time.
Same bat
Well,
time.
And be sure to
Oh,
click
see?
end
Right
show
there.
twice. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you, John. Thank you, Danny. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay.
And
I
thanks.
will send you a news report sometime before I leave.
All right, appreciate that. All right, we'll holler at you guys later. I'm sorry, I just can't.
All right, Joe.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Good night, Joe.
Hey, Lewis,
Yeah.
have you been to the World War II Museum yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Which one are you talking about, John?
The one in New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
The
The
World War
World War
II
II Museum.
Well,
the one
I
that
mean,
Tom Hanks helped
there's
open.
one over in Normandy. No,
No,
Like saying the
the
Empire
I gather
State
that's
Building.
of secondary
Which
importance.
one?
No, actually, somebody had gotten interested in Lindsay's dad's memoirs of being parachute dropped in a tank on D-Day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. But she had taken all of the genealogy stuff and her dad's handwritten stuff and given it to her son, who's out in New Mexico. And now people are asking us for transcripts and stuff. And we've got to get Xeroxes back from Anthony so that I can transcribe all this stuff, because between my wife and I, we can just about read her father's handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where I begin to suspect he invented his own form of hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
It's a weird story. My second wife's father was a glider pilot during the D-Day operation. My third wife, Lindsay, her father was a navigator and radio man in a Hamilcar tank that was parachute dropped from a glider in France on D-Day. And I often sit and wonder, did they ever know each other? I mean, it's a big operation, so the chances are very, very slim. But wouldn't it be just the kind of luck my family runs into, that they actually sat down and had a pint one day before they left?
That's a great question.
These things, they happen. It's more the kind of thing I would write into a story than would actually have a chance of hell happening in real life. But
right. It would make a great story.
Oh, it already is a great story.
Yeah.
Just the way that Gene didn't say much about what he did. Apparently, being U.S. Special Forces was a little bit more strenuous than riding around France blowing up panzer tanks with a little bitty boxcar of a British tank.
Yeah. Hey, Dan?
Yeah?
I believe the tank you're looking for is an M22 Locust, and it was dropped from a Hamilcar glider.
Oh, okay.
See, the M22 was an American-designed airborne light tank produced during World War II.
Well, Leslie just called the whole thing a Hamilcar, so if he was conflating the glider with the tank itself,
7.4 tons.
They had to jump out and cut the parachute lines away from the treads so that they could move away from the drop zone, and they were under fire at the time. And the dude wound up. They lost. Well, they won and lost a fight with a Panzer tank at the same time. And Leslie was the only one to walk out of the flames. And he was promptly captured by an American squad who almost shot him, thinking that the only person that could have lived in that kind of encounter would be a German Panzer tanker. And it wasn't until he started cussing a blue streak with his British accent and asking for a cigarette while his shirt was still on fire that they realized, oh, this guy's a Brit. So they sent him off to a medical unit, and he had to have some plastic surgery, and wow. actually demanded to go back to his unit and get back in on the action. So
yeah,
it was one of those times where a lot of people that you wouldn't think of as being heroes just kind of stood up and said, well, I got to do what I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And went ahead and
it's got the job done.
I posted the Wikipedia links to that on Stupid. So the tank and the glider. It's an itty bitty thing.
Yes, it was. It was a 3-man job.
It's got a
you had the gunner, the driver,
gun.
And the radio operator, who was also a navigator.
Wow.
So Danny, what are your next projects going down?
I'm actually working on a geocaching video. Another one that we did.
I was going to get in on that, but
we started doing this on the channel, and it's just took off, and it's a lot of fun. Honestly, I mean, if you really enjoy getting outdoors and stuff like that, and puzzles and looking for things, and I mean, you're not going to find anything like, oh my gosh, this is a great treasure, but it's just the whole option of finding something in the woods, you know.
I was trying to get one of the local radio stations / newspapers
Mm-hmm.
to donate something for geocaching, and they were like, "What?" I said, geocaching. They said,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, we heard of it." I said, I want you guys to donate some little doodad for Chattanooga to put in a
Just stickers, something, you know.
buttons, stickers, keychains,
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
And you know they got them lying around.
exactly. But the other one I like.
So you
What
have
was it
done
called?
you have done geocaching then?
I was in the Army. We did professional geocaching.
Well, yeah,
Gotta remember where you buried those claymores.
exactly. But it's like we've been doing it over here at Arabian Mountain a lot, and Arabian Mountain really keeps really good care of their geocaches. They maintain them pretty well. So
One of the problems with Chattanooga is you got to be careful where you put your geocaches, because pretty much half of Chattanooga is some sort of national park.
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
But the national parks are getting in on this more now, because I know
They
here in
need
Georgia, there's if you go any national park, any other parks here in Georgia, like the state parks and all that, you'll get geocaches everywhere.
cool.
And there's some of the parks here in Georgia, the state parks also, that have actually been doing more of the puzzle geocaches too. So,
One of the things that kind of ticked me off, and it's just a personal thing though.
yeah,
A lot of the national parks have benchmarkers in them.
mm-hmm.
If you've done map stuff, you know what a benchmarker is. You can find it on a map. Benchmark.
Yep.
And you go, and strangely enough, they're put in by the Coast Guard. Figure
Yes.
that one out. But it's a big brass plate that tells you exactly where this was surveyed and when.
Right.
Okay. And
You actually, if you pay attention in like a lot of cities and stuff, you'll actually find these placards and stuff
there's
all
one of
over.
them up on Missionary Ridge. It's
Mhm.
actually in a park. You go out in the park and they got a monument and stuff like that. If you
Yeah.
look right over next to the monument, if you know where to look, there's the benchmark.
Yep.
I'm fine. But those are great. I mean, if you know, that's part of land nav, because those plaques are on the map. If you can
Yeah.
put your geocache anywhere near one of those,
Yep.
you're golden.
Exactly. But it's just a fun hobby to get into, and we figured it's a good aspect to bring to the channel to show people, you know, more like, you know, other than us going to like theme parks and stuff like that. I mean, for last year, I mean, unfortunately, that's all we could do was go to Six Flags, because that's the only thing that was open for us to do. But then it's like we just realized now that this is out there, and we kind of like we can get this to the channel and people watch it, you know, and make it fun. And so we're showing more of the rundown places in Arabian Mountain, more of the historical spots in Arabian Mountain. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it used to be a giant granite quarry. So it was an offshoot of Stone Mountain, actually, over in like the Stonecrest area and stuff. So it would run under the whole city, going from Stone Mountain under over into like Arabian Mountain over there to Stonecrest. And there's a huge mountain that you can climb up for free, unlike Stone Mountain. So, and there's a lot of these caches in there, and we've been stocking them. And if you go around the next video you'll show that we're putting up, you'll see in there and like the remains of the quarry office, the cutting rocks and things like that. So,
Oh, well, you might actually have an item of interest in my area after all. Have you heard of the Georgia Guidestones?
I have, and we want to get there.
That's about an hour northeast of me,
Okay.
and it is actually in the middle of a cattle pasture,
Okay.
right up next to the road. There's no gate.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you have the the open ramp with the cast iron pipes and whatever that the cows are afraid to walk across, so they don't get out.
Right, the grates and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's a good one. Okay. This is for those of you who are watching this Missionary Ridge area.
Uh-huh.
And this is where what is that, Ringgold Road? It goes to the tunnels there. Brainerd Road. Brainerd Road, there's the Brainerd tunnels. And if you're up on top on South Creek Road and all that area, okay, there's the Ohio National Military Park. Okay, so there's supposed to be a parking area around here somewhere. I don't see it on the map. But anyway, there's the monuments and the cannon stuff like that. And if you look real close,
I see it right there, yeah.
And I believe that's it. It might be a little further into the woods, but I think that's actually the mark.
Okay.
So it's a battlefield marker?
Well, it's a benchmark for a map.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the things the Coast Guard surveyed. I think the last one was in '84. I think they're due to do a new one, actually. Not sure when. But, well, they're supposed to do them every so often because the planet keeps moving.
Right.
Oh, that's like that thing from Terry Brooks' Discworld, where there's a certain branch of monks that goes around and places these little brass balls in order to keep the planet from tilting.
You say that and I'm laughing because then I'm thinking of I'm talking about Arabia Mountain, and they have the monastery of the Holy Spirit over in Arabia Mountain where the monks run that, so I'm just thinking that they're just making brass balls over there now. The whole place is just full of brass balls.
I am so not going to touch that line.
You started it. I'm just continuing on with it. I'm sorry.
Okay, North America and South America are moving away from Europe. Pangea is drifting. Okay. Mm-hmm. And supposedly every year, North America moves an inch away from Europe. Okay. Which means that since 1984, 35, we've moved 35 inches. So yes, it's time to do the survey because we're almost a yard out.
Yeah.
Yep. And the Olduvai Gorge in Africa is actually still opening up. So there is going to be an inland sea there one day. What is the other thing that was so... Oh, India is moving 3 inches per year into the Himalayas.
Well,
I mean,
they say in
really
100,000 years, there's going to be another Pangea, that the continents
everything
are
will
going to
going
move back
the other
together.
direction. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, I'll send you postcards, boys. I don't write them time travel stories for nothing. You mentioned the uprisings of what actually is Stone Mountain, the big granite, all over the state, just kind of popping up everywhere. Elbert County, where the Georgia Guidestones are, is a big granite quarry county. And I actually have a piece of Stone Mountain in the backyard here, which basically is just a little bitty granite dome about 2-3 inches high and about 6 feet wide coming up out of my backyard. And I couldn't dig it up for love nor money. And then I figured out why.
Yeah.
Because it's connected to the bedrock.
Yeah.
I thought it would make a nice ornamental stone to go in the front yard, but
good luck moving that.
I'm not buying that big a air chisel to break the sucker loose.
Yeah, no.
If I can't move it with a big tractor, I ain't moving it.
Well, it's over in Arabia Mountain. What's cool is since it was a granite quarry, is when you're walking around, many people don't really pay attention to details around them, especially out like that. You know, like there's so much around you, so much history in these woods around, especially here in Georgia, that if you look at the rocks, you'll actually see where they dug down into the rock, like the clean cut where they would stick the dynamite, and there's still rock splitting spikes in a lot of the rocks out there.
I know when I lived in East Tennessee, you could see where you'd be driving down the highway, you could on the side of the road, you'd see actual marks of the drills where they had split everything to make the roadbed.
I mean, what I'm talking is, this is before drills. This was the 1910s to the 30s that all this was out there. So yeah, well, they used steam powered drills and dynamite. Yeah.
But you are absolutely right. A lot of it was done with sledgehammers and basically what amounts to wedges.
Yep. And with them, with over here, what was a great historical thing was, you know, here in Georgia, there was just trains everywhere. A lot of these quarries had trains that came into them. Arabia Mountain was all truck. They actually had some of the first weight stations here in Georgia in the mountain, so they can unload the truck and see what they were loading out.
All right.
So
I just thought of another thing you might want to check into. It in person, it doesn't look like much.
Okay.
But up near Ellijay, is a place called Fort Mountain, and nobody knows if it was Cherokee Indians that built it, or there are people that swear up and down it was the lost Welsh colony of Prince Madoc, and you know, there's all kinds of stuff. But basically, it is a pile of stones with little pits and things. It was not something that was thrown up for the Civil War.
Right.
We know that, and there are some rather sizable rock formations there too. But it's a park. You can actually go in. They've got a nice historical marker that explains what the official theories are, which are probably pretty close to it. You know, just Indian tribes building little enclosures to hold wildlife or whatever, and in case of attack by a neighboring tribe that was unfriendly, that sort of thing. But it's really awe-inspiring to walk around. It's not quite as much as the what is it? Eagle Rock, the mounds. I think that's way further south, but it's almost the same sort of thing, but without that kind of recognizable pattern.
Right. I mean, what I want to check out are, what are the life pillars or something down in by Georgia? Like what are these things? They're like 50 pillars or something that are down there.
Yeah. What was it called? Come on, we were just talking about that, Dan. What were those things called?
Oh, the ones in Elberton. That's the guide stones.
No, not the guide stones.
No,
there's another one. There's another one in downtownish area that I forget what they are. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, and Elbert County High School's football stadium is basically the remains of a granite quarry. They just carved out a big circle. All the seats are slabs of granite. And they got a football field in the middle of it. And it's very cold in the wintertime, let me tell you.
I can imagine.
You do not want to play them in football in December, let me tell you.
I can imagine. Let me tell you, the best website, roadsideamerica.com. You'll find anything weird on there. If you want to find something fun to do, there you go. There's your website.
The only thing I'm finding, and I might be just not Googling well, is the guide stones and Stone Mountain. So.
Well, I'm sure there's other stuff, but as you say, you haven't formulated your Google question exactly enough yet to narrow it down. I run into that all the time. I try and find something on Google, and I can't figure out the right question to ask.
I'll tell you. Once I see it, I'll tell you. I'm going through like 25.
One of the other things sent me to a place that does tombstones. Let's see. Georgia Headstones and Monuments. Hey,
There are some people that are actually doing really nice artwork in that field.
Yeah.
In that field, God, that was unintentional. I'm
Hey, there's always work in those stones. There's always money in the stones, you know.
Used to be a farmer. I was out standing in my field, yes. Which is actually biographical. I should put that in the philosophy book that I've got going on.
everything keeps sending me back to the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah,
well, it is the best known one. Although it's very, very recent. It's not an ancient thing.
I've got some Viking stones. Does that count?
Hey, it would count in my book. Tell me about it.
Oh, I'm not sure. I know why did that send me to Scotland? Damn Google.
I don't
Georgia
know.
runestones. It sends me to Scotland. Is there a Georgia in Scotland?
I don't know.
The 54 columns.
Okay.
54 columns.
Yeah, it's it's basically saying it's welcome to Atlantis Stonehenge from the past. They basically went up 5 years ago. They don't have any graffiti on them, and the park surrounds them. It's a nice rare picnic, and that's bad. That's all I got right now.
Well, if they don't have any graffiti on them, they are young.
Aha! I found Atlas Obscura has the 54 columns. And some nice pictures.
Yeah.
Throw one of them up there.
Oh, I think I have a cat trying to get in the studio.
As of 5 minutes ago, I'd never heard of these. So, and they're there.
Yeah.
Well, now.
Yeah.
That looks like an art installation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like the Flintstones version of Jenga.
Yeah.
And they lost.
Yeah, I mean, there's that.
Wonder what it looks like from the air.
Strangely enough,
Glen Irish Drive. Let me pull this up. Let's see. Of course, this map is not going to give me a satellite view. Search map.
Well, just to fill the dead air. My first editor back in college, a guy by the name of Tom Dietz, wound up going from doing proposed illustrations for a Catherine Kurtz novel to writing his own books, and he used Cherokee Indian mythology and Celtic mythology, Irish Celtic mythology, intermixed, and wrote several different series of things with that kind of historical background. And Stone Mountain was one of the places that he used in the stories.
Really?
Ah, that's interesting.
Not really.
Yeah.
They're made out of blocks. They're not even solid.
They're just cinder blocks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's right off of Highland and Glen Iris Drive right there.
Well, they must have designed it to be seen from the ground because from above it doesn't.
It
make
looks
the
like it was
trees
on
scattered.
somebody's. It looks like there was a house there that might have been condemned or something at some point. Like, just a vacant lot.
Yeah, I can see the outline of
Yeah.
what around here would have been an old house place that burned down. But
Yeah.
the trees are a bit young for that, although that hedge in the back looks nice and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, my inner smartass wants to say that's somebody preparing a trailer park for a flood.
Hey, don't laugh. There's an ordinance in Biloxi about putting houses on stuff like that.
I wouldn't doubt it. I've seen places hanging off the side of what's the
There's a
the big thing outside of Chattanooga?
Rock
Oh,
City.
No, the mountain overlook. You can see
Blue Ridge?
downtown from up there.
Point Park.
Lookout Mountain.
Yeah, that's the one.
Look out here, Danny. Oh. You're in control, Danny. We're just watching.
yeah. Sorry, I apologize.
Oh, just so you know, once I bring that up, you can actually like move around on that. You can go to that screen and move around on it and show us what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's what I was doing. I was showing you the same exact thing that you had up.
Oops.
That's all right.
Great
It's all
minds
right.
think alike.
Exactly.
Hey, John,
Yes,
you asked if I had been to the World War II Museum,
I did.
and
What are we going to throw up here? Ew. See,
how's
47.
that? C-47 hanging from the ceiling. And that ain't the only one. They got a B-19, a B-24. They got all kind of aircraft hanging from the ceiling.
They got one of the few operational. Well, it's not operational right now, but they got a BF-109 Messerschmitt, which is kind of.
Oh, don't tell Scott about it. He'll be down there with his toolkit trying to get it.
They
to
got the
run.
Higgins boat in the background. That was kind of
Yeah, and they built the Higgins boats there in New Orleans. So, and as a matter of fact, one of the displays that they had was talking about Rosie the Riveter and showed scenes from the shipyards during World War II, and they had a pair of welder's goggles.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, my mom might have worn those because my mom worked at Delta Shipyards during World War II building Liberty boats.
Wow.
She was a welder. My mom was a welder. That is bad ass.
That explains
That
why
is.
you're so well built.
Oh, man.
That's like, I'm really shocked. Like you're showing the plane there, and I'm really shocked at how many aviation museums Georgia actually has. Get the one in
Oh, yeah.
Marietta,
Well, the one down at Warner Robins is
one in
really-
Robbins. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a museum in Athens, but Ben Epps Field is kind of famous for its era.
Yeah.
It's the only airport in Athens, and it's kind of dinky and small, but apparently it does have some historical significance. So this guy named Ben Epps was a flight instructor and probably a military or ex-military pilot before he opened a civilian field down here, and it's a big deal to this day. It's not
Kind
much
of a
to
big
look
deal.
at when you go out there. I mean, it's an airport. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
little airport, but
Right.
they do have. Let's see, I think it's five flights a day back and forth to Atlanta.
I mean,
going to
it's
Hartsfield.
it's a means in and out of the city, and that's a big thing. You know?
Apparently, if you've got an international flight out of Hartsfield and you live near Athens, you can drive to Athens, go through all a very, very scaled down version of Homeland Security security checks. Check your bags, fly to Atlanta. Your bags go on your plane. You go straight through all the security
Hopefully.
checks. Well, yeah.
Yeah, in a small airport, you never know.
Yeah. I'd like this one to go to Albuquerque and this one to go to Paris. I'm sorry, sir, we can't do that. You did it yesterday.
Yeah.
George Carlin has all the best lines.
Oh yeah.
So how you doing, Blake?
I'm here. That's all I can say for it.
Barely. Show up 15 minutes till the end of the show.
That's usually what I do now.
Oh well, he's here for the after show.
Yeah, that's the 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. with Dan.
Yeah, really. Sit here and listen to me ramble for about 5 hours.
It's all good though.
Yep. Well, I've got to say, Lindsay and I never expected the inoculations to have side effects for the first dose.
No, I was miserable for 2.5 days.
She's been miserable for about 4 now, and
Like I'm okay now.
I had 2 really bad days.
Yeah.
But it was like 2 days after the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, like I got mine on a Friday, and Sunday I was just like laid out.
Exactly.
We got ours on Friday. I mean, we're going next week for our second, and Friday I went. Like I said, I made the mistake. I went to go to work. I mean, I'm a mechanic by trade, so having that heavy arm all day and I felt tired. Saturday I was a little out of it. By Sunday I was okay.
Yep. What happened to me was I was fine Friday. I was fine Saturday. Sunday, about an hour before I wanted to go to bed, I felt like somebody hit me with a brick.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monday when I got to work, I felt like a zombie. I really did. I could not think straight. I could not get anything accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I tried to type up a test result, it turned out to be typo city. even worse than my normal. And these guys could tell you what my typos look like. I try and blame it on the beer, but no, that don't fly. They know it's just me being stupid. Oh, but Tuesday I felt much better. Wednesday, nothing. I mean, it's not like my arm hurt from the shot.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like,
yeah.
Like I said, my wife started Saturday afternoon. She started feeling real bad. She has not been really able to eat much until today. I mean,
All right, so Dan, which version did you get?
Pfizer.
I got Pfizer as well.
That's
Danny?
what I'm getting. Pfizer.
See, I got the Pfizer, and aside from a little soreness at the injection site, nothing.
Well,
I mean, it really wasn't much for me. I was it was sore, my arm. I mean, like I said, I'm a mechanic, so I was using my arm that day at work. I mean, so it kind of like, all right, yeah, this is a pain in the butt right now. But then I was just like, all right, like I felt tired too. But Saturday,
I
halfway.
feel tired, but that's just being fat and 61,
yeah, I mean, that's just me being up all night, also editing videos and being a YouTuber plus going to work at the same time. So it's like, all right, well, which one is this?
Talking about video editing. Oh my God, I did some work for a local museum, 6th Cavalry Museum.
Okay,
and it was paid for by the Department of the Interior. So I had to close caption it.
Okay.
Oh my God. Adobe decides to change the entire workflow of closed captioning in Premiere.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the project.
Oh God.
So I had to learn the whole new workflow to finish out the video because it was a series of 5 videos.
Right.
Oh my God. I just wanted to hurt somebody.
Hmm.
I wanted somebody from Adobe in the room with
frustrating.
me so I could
This
hurt
is
them.
this is why I don't use Adobe.
Just 5 minutes, Your Honor. Me and them alone.
Yeah.
What do you use? Final Cut?
I actually use VideoPad.
Video Pad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a copy of that. It's actually quite nice.
It's like Adobe, but it's so much easier and user friendly. So
They cut out a lot of the crap.
Yeah, there's also DaVinci
Well,
if you want to go
here,
all out.
let me.
I've got
This
the
is
Creative Cloud subscription, so I mean it's kind of wasteful if I don't use
Yeah.
Premiere, but
I've got like 6 video editors, and I hardly ever use any.
this
of
is
them.
what VideoPad looks like.
okay.
There's a little behind the scenes look of what we're working on right now.
Your show.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. I mean, if I wanted to edit something out, I'll just gotta hit L and then L again, right where I want to cut out, and I mean, you can see it.
Superficially, it works like Windows Movie Maker. Superficially,
Oh, that's
It's
not a
Yes.
selling point, Dan.
No,
It's
it
not
was for me
Because
much
because
useful.
if you go back and watch anything prior than to like about 2 videos ago, we were using Movie Maker for everything.
oh my God. Now you see, now I've been a photojournalist for since I got out of school for it in '87. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing TV news for all these years.
Right.
And the first nonlinear editor that we had was Avid. Hated it. Then we got Grass Valley. And finally, Grass
Yeah.
Valley is a lot like Adobe. So making the switch to Premiere was a lot easier for me than, say, going to Final Cut Pro. Because Final Cut Pro is a lot like Avid. Hated it.
It's funny because I actually have a copy of Final Cut Pro here on a disc. My computer won't support it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
what are you running?
Probably 32-bit, and you're running
I-
64.
Yeah, basically, I'm running. Yeah, I'm running very minimum. What was cheap, what we can afford at the time. Just like it's this HP Pavilion desktop. That's all we're running right now. It works for me. I'm happy with it. All I needed for was videos and going online.
No, VideoPad.
Well, the thing is
actually pretty
like
useful.
Sony,
It's very easy to use, very friendly.
It's
Sony
intuitive.
Vegas, DaVinci Resolve, all those they seem to run better on Windows, whereas Final Cut Pro and Premiere seem to work better on Macs, and so that's what I edit on is my Mac, which is what I'm on right now. But I've also got a Windows laptop that I can use in the field.
Right.
But the thing is, Premiere screams on this thing because it's a gaming computer.
Gotcha.
Got 17-inch screen.
Yeah.
And it's got 32 gig of RAM.
Yeah.
It screams on this machine. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with my setup. It works. You see me. I'm nice and clear right now. I'm able to stream every Monday. I'm able to put my videos up every week. I'm good. I got my 2 screens. I'm happy.
All right, Joe was just giving us a hint.
Oh.
Good night, everybody.
That's all, folks.
Good night, Joe.
Guess what
We're going to keep
time it
broadcasting
is,
for about 6 more hours.
He's like, get off my channel. Stop hijacking it.
Danny, thanks for being here.
Not a problem.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to meet
Anytime you guys want me back, I'll be happy to come back.
Okay.
I'll
Hey,
be here Thursday.
okay.
Well, Saturday.
Here Saturday. No, I don't know. Joe left me running the thing. Boy, what a fool. Okay. Say good night, everybody.
you. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody.